You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Welcome, listeners, to another episode of All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on BQN and the Fandom Podcast Network. I'm your host, Kelvin, and with me today, it's Amy, Christos, and Kristin. Patreon patrons, remember you can now watch All Good Things as an extended video edit of this very episode at patreon.com/BQN. Happy New Year, everyone. If it's not too soon to say that to us, but to the listeners, it's New Year's Day. So, Happy New Year, Amy. How was your Christmas?
It was very lovely. We had a wonderful dinner. I made wild mushroom risotto. It turned out the best risotto that I've ever made before. I was very happy with myself.
Okay, not very Christmassy. Where's that come from?
Well, I found some mushrooms that I needed to use, and I'm like, oh, and we were having steak, and so
right.
Yeah, listen, Christmas. I'm finding what is it as a single female with no kids, so it's like, all right, this is how I want it to be. And I wanted mushroom risotto. So
you know what? Anything with mushrooms can be used for any holiday. And I know that wild mushroom stuffing is actually quite popular for some people for Christmas. So I
helped my brother make that.
Oh, yeah. So this is just like a rice instead of bread.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll say it sounds delicious. I'm a risotto fanatic. So amazing.
Yeah.
How were the Yorkshire puddings, Kristin? Did you take the plunge and use your Jamie Oliver recipe?
I did. I baked them myself, and I was I didn't know how to get them to do the little scoop that they did, but I peeked in the oven and they were doing the little bowl thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yay.
We had my coworker came over, and he's British. And so he was laughing because they were just tiny little ones done in a cupcake tin. And apparently, I didn't know, they're usually done as the entire plate.
I've seen both.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I use a muffin tin to do mine.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, he did say that they were the cutest little Yorkshire puddings he'd ever seen. And Justin got them a really nice steak. And Justin got me this nice vegan something log, whatever. And it was just lovely. The three of us just hung out and had some wine, and it was great.
Nice. Lovely. And how was your trip, Christos? You're fresh back off the airplane?
Yes, I traveled to Charlotte, North Carolina, and spent Christmas with my brother and his family. And that was great because it wasn't a big crowd. It wasn't the whole big Greek family get together. It was just me and them. So, and a little bit of his in-laws. They live in town, but it was, very manageable. I had a fitness Christmas because in the short time that I was there, I was dragged to the gym to work out one day. I was dragged to a cardio class and then to another heavy duty weightlifting class. Not to mention, I probably walked 10 to 15 miles over the course of the whole time I was there, just going on walks. So I feel like I probably did really good with the Christmas scale.
So your New Year's resolution's off to a great start.
Yes. Yeah. If I can get out of December without having gained weight, then I think I will have done good.
What about you, Kelvin?
Thanks. I managed to go to the gym 5 times like I normally do over the Christmas week. And I said to James yesterday, I felt like Superman in the gym because I've been on a crazy 1,500 calorie diet for 2 years now. So obviously that goes out of the window at Christmas and you just eat everything in sight. So I was so strong at the gym and I was throwing everything around. And it's like, I think I want to be like this all the time. So I'm now thinking, do I want to build? Do I want to?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Build.
Yeah. Kelvin's Instagram.
Yeah.
Mm.
And James did say this year it was the best Christmas dinner he's ever had. So my Christmas
Oh,
dinner was a win.
Yeah.
And I used a Jamie Oliver recipe as well, Kristin. I used his special roast potatoes recipe where you
Ooh.
squash
oh,
them down a little bit towards the end to increase the surface area.
yeah.
Yes,
Those are
I've seen
so good.
those. Yes. Oh, I need to try those. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Oh, I'm so glad that we all love to cook and that we had good outcomes.
Yes.
Yeah, a Christmas
Do you
miracle.
with those ones, if you put a little bit of cheese on them and then bake them?
No,
They-
I kept it traditional with rosemary, garlic to flavor
Yes.
the oil, and just really oil as hot as my oven would get
Yes.
it to make
Yes.
it really crispy. But yeah,
Crispy.
no cheese.
Yeah.
But
So
if you do, then they make great breakfast potatoes. I was just gonna say, like, because then they're like really fancy hash browns with the rest of your stuff. I know, Christos, it's fine.
no,
Vegan
was-
cheese
I was
doesn't
making-
melt though, so
I was making fun of Amy.
Did Santa bring anything nice for anyone? What about you, Christos? Do you get anything good for Christmas? I know you're always you
No.
must be horrendous to buy for Christmas because
Well,
as soon
I'm
as something
horrendous.
comes out, you just get it yourself.
And I got a couple of things from my brother and his family, but just like little things under the tree. But to that point, I think when it is kind of one of those times that I am reminded that I don't have a partner.
Mhm.
The holidays and so. But I always remind myself that I'm married to myself, and I basically buy myself what I want most of the time. So it's a give and take.
We
What about you?
made an agreement not to spend a lot of money on gifts, so we just bought like little silly cheap things for each other. But then our next door neighbors, who I think, Amy, you might have met, Matt and Liam, in the adjoining house.
Oh yeah, yep.
They've been having a big extension built for the last 6 months. So there's been a lot of workmen and cars on the drive have been walked in. It's been quite inconvenient. So as a gesture to say thank you for all the inconvenience, they'd only bought me the Enterprise Lego.
I was going to ask you, I thought I saw a picture of in one of your pictures, I thought I saw a big Lego bag, and I was like,
Yeah.
I think you got the Enterprise.
Yeah. So a huge thank you to Matt and Liam next door for that. It's so over the top.
Wow.
But I'm
Yeah.
very, very grateful to them.
So will you be building it over this week, or are you gonna save it for a special
I
time?
think I'm going to save it because I don't know where to put it once it's built. So I need to think of the end result. What do I do with this huge thing once we've got it? Where's yours, Christos? Did you put it on display behind you?
Mine's still on the table right behind me. It actually is very nicely displayed in a kind of a sense. There it is.
Oh yes,
But-
it is.
That's not going to be its permanent home. First off, I am waiting for one extra piece that was missing, so you can easily do that with Lego service. So it's already been dispatched. But I'm seeing in my Instagram story now all these companies that make these different like plexiglass type displays where you could mount it on your wall or put it in the thing, and it has a nice little Star Trek background, and then there's a little place to put the minifigures. And so I'm thinking I may buy one of these wall mount systems so that it actually is a space saver too.
Yeah, well, I might wait and see what yours looks like then before I start building mine, because I might do the same.
Sure, you mind if you show me yours?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of showing each other's Star Trek of the year, Christos, would you like to tell the listeners what we're doing today to end the year and start the year simultaneously?
Sure. This is our part of our host pick series, I guess, but it's going to be the best of Trek, and we're going to recap our favorite moments of Star Trek from 2025, as well as what we're looking forward to / predictions for 2026.
Brilliant. And Kristin, let me just check. How are you with kind of spoilers now for anything you've not seen? Have you just kind of given up on existing in the dark with it all? You're gonna hear some things today, I guess.
And that's fine. I mean, 2020, we were just talking about this, when I got back from Europe was the day that Strange New Worlds aired. And I was not I was so exhausted. I was like, okay, I'll watch it later. And then I'll watch it later turned into complete chaos. And I find with new shows that I've never watched before, I need to be in a very specific mindset. Otherwise, what's the point? And let's just say that mindset hasn't yet reached me. So there is a lot of content from 2025 I have yet to fully consume. And that includes Strange New Worlds. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I thought the first one was brilliant, and I thought the wedding one was goofy and cute. But I also found that this was the year where I needed to prioritize being kind on myself for not. I felt like it was getting to a point where watching Star Trek was almost becoming a job. Like I had to do it, and I don't want that to ever destroy my relationship with this franchise, because it does mean so much to me. So I just had to be kind on myself and be like, I will watch it when I have time to watch it. And that was a big thing for me to come to the realization that, you know, sometimes you don't get to things, and that's okay. That's okay. So Star Trek was not a priority for me in 2025. I feel crazy saying that while I'm on a Star Trek podcast, but that is just sometimes how life goes. And I hope some of the listeners maybe will resonate with that a little bit.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Well, let's take it all the way back to pretty much this time last year then. I don't think we can say with any real honesty that we started the year on a high, but we did get the first of our new Trek for 2025 in the shape of Section 31. What are your enduring memories now that you've had a year to consider Section 31? Are you looking at it any kinder?
Yeah. So when I think of Section 31, if you go back and listen to our, excuse me, if you go back and listen to our episode on All Good Things where we did the review, and now a year later, really my favorite thing when you say Section 31 was the big movie event that orchestrated and saw it on the big screen. Had about 50 local Treks come, and we saw, it was just so fun to see it on the big screen. So that's my takeaway. I don't know anything about what's going on in the movie. But the time with Trek fans, that's what I remember.
That's nice.
You had a great experience.
Yes.
So away from the content of the story, the event of it being released was the redeeming factor, I guess, for you.
For me, yes. How about you guys?
Yeah, Kristin, you were pretty vocal at the time about your feelings on Section 31. Are they just as valid now, or have they changed any?
Here's the thing: is I think I don't know. I'm looking at it how people maybe looked at Star Trek 5 when it first came out, because I know Star Trek 5 was thrown under the bus really hard. So maybe in 30 years, I'll look back on it with kinder eyes. But I think my problem with Section 31 was, for the first chunk of that movie, it could have been anything. There wasn't anything Trek about it until I heard some random tricorder sound quite a way through the movie. I was like, at least Star Trek 5 started off strong with like Trek. You know, they were on the Enterprise and all that stuff really quickly. So at least they kind of stayed with the theme. But I don't know. I don't think that it didn't actually seem like a Star Trek movie. It seemed like a spy movie with a little bit of Trek adjacent technology integrated.
Yeah.
But Michelle Yeoh is such a queen. So she was the highlight of it. She will always be the highlight of everything she's in. But other than that, as a movie, as the plot, all of that, no, I don't think my opinion has really changed. Check back with me in 30 years. We'll see.
Any new thoughts on the movie for you, Christos?
I think I said everything about the movie itself. Here's what I will say about it. It's been 11 months, almost 12. And I don't know how many people I know that say, I rewatched that movie. I watched it twice. I watched it 3 times. No one even talks about it. It's kind of like it's already become that little bit of a bastard in the Star Trek world, and I think that's going to be its legacy. I did buy the 4K Steelbook Blu-ray for collectors' completistness, but other than that, I don't even think I opened it.
So it was worth just being a completionist, but not for the movie's sake.
But
And
I just don't see myself. Like if you told me let's watch it now, I'm like, do we have to?
Yeah. So I do not think our opinions are. We're not alone in our opinions. On IMDb, it has a 3.8 out of 10, and the majority of the votes are 1 star.
Wow.
So that, I think that says a lot across the fandom, is that people just didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, as we said at the time, and I guess this is equally as valid now, it was almost a proof of concept again for the TV movie format. And let's just hope the poor reception to the story hasn't made the studio think, well, we're not going to do any more TV movies because we want them. They just have to have a good story.
Yeah.
So
no, it wasn't the format. It was what was on screen.
Shall we fast forward a few months and get into something marginally more well received, and that is Strange New Worlds season 3. So we'd waited an awfully long time for this. It had so much anticipation. We were all so excited. It arrived in July, running through to September. What did you think of it, Christos, if you could kind of lump all your 10 episodes into one opinion?
I would just say if I had to rank the 3 series or 3 seasons, I would say season 2, season 1, and then season 3. It just was kind of mid. It wasn't terrible. I did enjoy some of it. It just, once again, I don't find myself rewatching it. I don't find myself excited to rewatch it. I just felt like they were okay. I did feel like they took way too many big swings, as they like to say. I was like, just let's go to some Strange New Worlds and let's just go be Star Trek. We don't need to be, trying to be doing things to do things. And I think they learned that lesson. I don't know. What did you think?
What were some of your highlights, or even maybe lowlights from the series? What
I like the Shuttle to Canary episode more so because I am not a horror fan, and I was kind of afraid to watch. Like, it's going to be the zombie episode, but I still enjoyed it. So that was a good one. I did enjoy the documentary one. I know that wasn't some people's favorite, and I enjoyed the one before that, the Salat or whatever, where the Enterprise and the Farragut are both involved, and with the ancient Earthship, I guess you call it, or whatever that is. So those were probably my 3 episodes that kind of stand out for me as the better of the 10.
I mean, you've reminded me of things there that were in the series that I'd completely forgotten, just because I've not rewatched it a huge amount. I rewatched quite a lot of the earlier episodes as we were kind of on the way to Vegas and things. But yeah, what about yourself, Amy? What did you think of season 3?
I really have to echo what Christos is saying. And I remember feeling a little harsh that he was like, well, I prefer season 2. And I was like, oh, but season 3 is so good. But now that I've had this time to reflect, I prefer season 2. More consistently, better written. And I will agree that the swings, although I love the swings, and I love that they are pushing the envelope, it was very wide. So I'll just leave it at that. Some of my favorites were that last episode with Battelle and the Pike, and what was that one called? I can't remember the episode title. It doesn't matter. And the one that really freaked me out, it was not the maze, but they were in the same physical space, but different.
The Indiana Jones episode.
Yes.
Which is adjacent to the finale episode.
Right.
They're kind of a first and second parter. You got to just put them together.
Yeah. And then I really enjoyed the holodeck one. I just love seeing the characters just go hog wild with these new characters that they're playing. Super fun. So glad they had that in season 3.
It's a very divisive episode. You either like it or you don't. It's kind of what I see in the online discourse as well.
That is one of the episodes I did rewatch quite a bit. I really enjoyed the holodeck one.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, just to keep it brief for me, highlights and lowlights. Highlights would be the Terrarium, the Ortegas episode. I think it was long overdue, and that was particularly worth the wait. I think Melissa did a great job in that episode, and it was a great story. Lowlights, I think that the Vulcan episode was just terrible. And very, like, someone should have had a word. Someone should have said, this is insulting to people of dual heritage and who a lot of your fans are. So we've got over the teasing Spock about being half Vulcan. It just went too far, that episode, and it became very insulting. And the fandom, we just, we don't really want to talk about that episode too much.
And that's funny, because wasn't that the one where they used for a lot of their sneak peeks and previews and stuff, because of all the makeup and costuming looked fantastic. So I'm interested to see it. Again, I love looking at Trek from a very sociological perspective. So this is actually really making me more jazzed to actually dive in. So like I said, I've only seen 2 episodes. And but I thought the premiere, people didn't really seem to like. I liked it. I was like, oh, this is very Alien, like old school Sigourney Weaver Alien meets The Matrix meets Best of Both Worlds, because they essentially used the go to sleep thing like they did in Best of Both Worlds. Which I'm always like, hey man, when you gotta beat them, make them take a nap. It's like raising kids. But I love gore, so I enjoyed the special effects makeup, all the blood and guts everywhere. I was like, let's work. And so my next one I'm watching is will be the shuttle to Kinfori. I don't know if I pronounced that incorrectly, but let's go with some zombies.
You'll like that one, Kristin.
Somebody called it the Wakanda Dead, and I was like, okay. So I'm interested to see where they got that title from. And then someone else called it Star Trek Z instead of,
There's a lot of mixed messaging there for you to figure out.
Yeah, I was like, that's a, what is happening? But anything with zombies, I'm always here for.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So next, in terms of Trek for 2025, we are staying in September, running through to November. We had Star Trek Khan, which was the podcast series, and again, a brand new format. It never really sits well with me to call it a podcast, because it's not. It's an audio drama. And Doctor Who do these all the time, and they're really good. So I was really excited for Star Trek's take on it. It did not disappoint me at all. I adored this. It is, I think, my favorite Trek of all year of the year. It's the standout for me, and for something that was just kind of, it wasn't given a huge big bang release. It dropped on Star Trek Day, which made it quite special on the 8th of September. But it was mainly the fans who kind of promoted this amongst ourselves. Amy, what did you think of Star Trek Khan?
Yeah, I agree. It was the fans that was putting it out there. And, I remember talking about it with all my Trek fans, and it filled in that gap of time so well. It was an interesting story. MacGyvers loved it, and we got to hear Tim Russ and George.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So I really did enjoy it. They weren't too long of episodes. You're right, an audio drama. It's definitely not a podcast, audio drama.
Christos, you enjoyed this.
Big time. Yeah, I thought, I think if there was a proof of concept, this one did work out really well. It it's been very well received. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, Wrath of Khan, you might remember, is like was my entry into Star Trek, and it's like one of my favorite like things. So it's just to get a little bit more deep into that without ruining it, because that's a risk, right? But they tightened it up very nicely and made it all make sense. And I think we really did learn how Khan went from being this guy where he wasn't spacey to the guy we saw in Wrath of Khan. And I think they did that very effectively. I almost feel like it could have been a little longer, like a couple more episodes.
There was a big time jump, wasn't there? Towards
Yeah.
the end of that. A few extra episodes would have filled that in nicely.
But if it left me wanting more, then I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you say there's a big gap, because everyone knows that, like, up until now, the favorite Trek book that I own is the To Reign in Hell, the Khan one. Now my favorite book that I own, obviously, is A Stitch in Time. But that book ends with Khan returning to the shuttle or the cargo, whatever, and seeing Tyrell and Chekhov walking in. So the book takes you literally right up to moments before Wrath of Khan starts. So I'm interested why they didn't kind of take the end, like help fill all of that. But if the podcast, because I've only about halfway through the podcast, if it at all follows sort of to the To Reign in Hell, the trauma that Khan experiences, I don't care how much of an augment you are, that it's going to affect your mental health. That you land with how many people, there were a lot of people, and everybody died.
Yeah. I'm really curious to hear your take on this podcast once you have completed it, considering you're drawing the similarities and differences to that book. Because I think in the second half of the podcast, there are some really new things that are put out there into the kind of the franchise and canon, if you want, which you won't have heard yet. So I'm very keen. We will be covering on All Good Things very soon. Yes.
Yes, next week. So I will be binging the entire podcast.
I was gonna say, she's like, is she gonna binge and show up, or is she gonna skip it?
Hey, excuse you. No, I'm actually excited again that I've got that kind of push. Some of us who are a little neurospicy, we only do best when we have that timeline approaching and the pressure's there. So
she works better under pressure.
I do. Doom, 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 doom. For those who don't know, that was supposed to be the bass line off of Under Pressure. But I think the standout for everything with this podcast, from not just the actual, but Naveen Andrews was perfect. Let's do something like live action and cast this man as Khan. He was perfect. He was like, because I'm still ticked about Benedict Cumberbatch being Khan in Into Darkness. I felt that was very whitewashing. And no, so I did not like that at all. And then Roberto, of course, was Roberto. But I love the fact that they were very specific with their casting, and he rose and exceeded, I think, to all expectations. So
it feels like they righted a wrong by casting in there. My favorite thing in all of the podcast is I'm not going to give it away, so I'm very mindful how I phrase this for you, Kristin. But
no, it's okay. It's okay.
It's the way that the reveal over who Dr. Leah was. I think it was done in such a way that, because it is so obvious to the listener a couple of episodes before they even reveal it, I think the fact when Tim Russ delivers all of the lines and she said, did you know who I was? He was like, yeah, almost immediately. And it was like he was speaking for the listeners because it was supposed to be this big surprise, but it really wasn't if you follow the story. too much. So you'll enjoy that, Kristin. I'll leave that.
Okay.
All right, let's get it back onto a more PG note here. Did anyone watch any of the Star Trek Scouts? Have you gone to YouTube and watched any of them? Amy, you're shaking your head. Kristin, you are. Did you watch anything, Christos?
No, I mean, I know a little bit about it. I've actually heard other podcasts review it, and it's, it's not canon. We know that. It's all over the place. And
What?
It's meant for 3 and 4 year olds. So, like, I love that it exists, but I'm not going to attempt to ingest it. I don't need to. But I love that it exists for young kids to potentially get exposed to Star Trek, an even younger audience than what the Prodigy was supposed to do.
Well, that was going to be my question, because obviously Prodigy launched and it was directed at children, but we all jumped straight onto that and we're all forever glad we did because it was so amazing. I'm curious, Amy, why have you not watched Scouts? I feel like I'm interrogating you. Why have you not watched it? What is it that you just think, I don't need this?
So you bring up an interesting point, because as I was thinking, I totally was on board with Prodigy, specifically designed for children. So what is the difference? One, it's not on Paramount. So I never go to YouTube, so it's just off my radar there. But I knew the creators of Prodigy, like Aaron Waltke, like I'm friends with him. He knows my name. Like, so I'm going to support my friends who are creating this Star Trek content. I don't know anyone on Scout, so maybe that's why I didn't feel the need to watch. Just because it's not on Paramount.
Yeah.
I'll just double down, and it's literally meant for 3-year-olds. We are not going to stop and watch 3-year-old content. And Prodigy was kind of written both ways. There is something for adults in it, and that's why, I mean, it's resonated so well with the fan base. So it's not just a kids show.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key, is there was enough in Prodigy that allow people of quite a large age range to enjoy with it. It wasn't just all like when we look at Scouts, I mean, it's the animation where literally they have no fingers. They just have little nubs and they're just flying around. I want to say it's Powerpuff Girls, but teenagers ate up Powerpuff Girls when they first came out. So who knows? Like, are we missing something? So I have let I let my sister-in-law know about this. So I'm interested to see if my niece and nephew decide to watch it, because my nephew is 5, and my niece is like 7 or 8. And so I wonder if they might enjoy it, because a lot of kids too, I find in like the baby stages now, they can't deal with anything that is dark or even remotely scary. I felt like when I was younger, I was like, when I was their age, I was watching Predator, Alien, Wrath of Khan. Whether I should have, that's for another day. But that type of stuff was just they can't even watch, like Nightmare Before Christmas is too scary for them. A Muppet Christmas Carol is too scary for them. So I'm wondering if there's a lot that just kids are a lot more maybe emotional or sensitive now. So Star Trek Scouts almost goes on like the overly sweet thing. But yeah, I'm going to wait for some feedback and see if they watch any and see what do kids have to say about it.
Well, I mean, call me less evolved than the rest of you. I did watch it. I watched one episode.
Okay.
And I get the impression that watching one episode was enough to tell me kind of what it's about. Okay. I really liked there was an element of teaching with it. So the episode I watched, there was something coming towards Earth and they had to fire things out of a big cannon to basically break it up and save the Earth. But it was very much like, fire is coming towards us, so let's shoot water because we know water puts out fire. So it was that kind of cute learning. But they were like 10 minutes, and it reminded me a little bit of, like the Flotter holodeck story in Voyager with Naomi Wildman, that learning through play. It was a little bit like that. So I could imagine this being a in-universe thing that maybe Molly O'Brien watches on her pad, that rather than it being canon, that's where I mentally see it fitting in the universe a little bit. But I think it was pretty good for what it is. We're not going to get any big stories. Just finishing with Prodigy as well. I just watched the last episode of Prodigy again today because they're leaving Netflix in the UK on the 31st of December in a couple of days' time. So yeah, it's really sad, and I can see you literally about to reach and start waving Blu-rays in my face, Christos. But I've not been out and bought it, so I am going to lose Prodigy in the next hours.
I wasn't going to do that. I was going to tell you that, like, I went on Apple iTunes and bought it, and it was like, I think you could get the whole. At one point, it was $9.99 for season 1 and season 2.
Oh wow!
Like, you get all of it, and so you can just kind of watch it on demand whenever you want to. So that's how I have insulated myself for it to go away. I got rid of Netflix actually a long time ago, after it aired. So
yeah, cool. So we are quite partial to covering a bit of beta canon as well on this podcast. So we've had some major Star Trek novels released this year. We've had the Strange New Worlds Ring of Fire by David Mack in October. And there was a original series, Identity Theft, by Greg Cox, even more recent than that. Now, I have seen these books on our coffee tables and the bedside table because James consumes the books as soon as they're released, but I've not read either of them. So, Christos, I think you're the only one amongst us with, dare I say, an opinion here. How did they land?
I've actually read 1.5 of these, and I'll explain why the half. So first off, Ring of Fire, Strange New Worlds, hands down better than anything we saw in season 3. If you took Ring of Fire as a book, and you probably would have to make a 2 or 3-parter. It's a big story. It's really good. It's kind of a mystery. There's a big space station by a black hole, kind of whole thing going down there, and they're leading up to this one big science experiment that they have to do. It's kind of like that one with Wesley where the Enterprise is malfunctioning, but they're going to miss their window to do this experiment.
Oh, Evolution.
Evolution, yes. It's that kind of a deadline thing, but somebody is sabotaging the station. It's a Daystrom Institute station, and there's sabotage going on. So, and this is all in the early setup of the novel, and I won't tell you what happens with it, but they have to take a shuttle. They can't even use the transporters, of course. There's radiation, blah, blah, blah. So they take a shuttle over there, and they had to, like, get it super insulated to do it. And so Spock, Una, and La'an and some security officers are on the station during the book. And then the rest of the crew is on the Enterprise. And there is stuff going on for everybody, including Pelia and Scotty in this book. So, and I actually listened to the audio for this one, and the voice actor does an amazing job with everybody. And
even Pelia.
Yes, actually really good with Pelia. And I feel like La'an is a little bit of a standout in this novel. It's really kind of good. She has a little bit more to do. And Una.
Wow.
So, and there's a little bit of there's a lot in it. I think there'd be the amount of special effects needed to make this book into a movie or a 3-parter or whatnot would be limiting. So maybe it's one of the reasons why sometimes our treks are better off in the literary treks or in a podcast format.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about Amy and Kristen, but I'm sold. I'm now going to read that book or at least listen to it. Maybe that will be keeping me company on the way to Australia in a couple of months' time.
Yeah.
But so are you halfway through the second one then, the original series tale? What do you think of that so far?
So I'm probably like a couple, several chapters into it. I will say something happens several chapters into it that I saw coming a mile away. So I'll use the word predictable, and also kind of throw back to the prior TOS novel, and different author, but kind of some of the same some of the same things where we're jumping back from 20 years when during the original 5-year mission, and then jumping forward to like between this book technically in the present time takes place between Star Trek 5 and 6.
Okay.
So, and then we're jumping back to stuff that happened during the original 5-year mission and in memory form. It got to the point where it's like I got a little upset that it was getting like I something happened and I saw it coming a mile away, and I'm like, ugh. And then this new Star Wars novel came out, and I was like, oh, pretty thing. I'm going to go listen to a little bit more of Darth Vader's early days. So this will be picked back up probably when I have nothing else, because it really was not catching. It wasn't keeping me. So
that's very telling. I've abandoned quite a few Star Trek books halfway through, so that's a little disappointing to hear.
Yeah.
What's the one that you were referring to, Christos? The other one that jumps. It's on my bedside table right now.
Ring of Fire, Strange New Worlds.
No, sorry. The TOS one that was jumping between the 3 times when they're trying to find Julian.
Oh, that's the one with that's the one with the whales, right?
The Lost in Time. Was it Lost in Time? I don't know. Anyway, I find that so hard to follow. I have started it like 3 times, and I almost feel like I need a chart to track what's happening in each story, or that I need to read every 3rd chapter to like finish one story. And then I don't know if I'm the only one who just I can't. So my brain isn't that evolved.
She's referring to the novel Lost to Eternity.
Lost to Eternity. I said Lost in Time. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Lost to Eternity.
I enjoyed that one a lot, but I did the audiobook and I didn't read it. So that sometimes is different. So,
well, away from Star Trek on screen, Star Trek in writing his novels, we've had a very busy year here on the network on BQN. So, we've put out 27. I'm sure that said 26. So someone updated.
It did. However, I was counting and it was 27. But I'm also including our last host pick from New Year's Eve.
Right.
So I'm going that way.
Oh, I liked it at 26 because it reminded me of old school TNG DS9, 26 episodes a year. So never mind. With 27's close enough. So we've been busy. 27 episodes of All Good Things available as our back catalogue for anyone who needs to go back and catch up with us. And then we've had 2 seasons of The View Screen as well. So 2 8-episode seasons this year. Kristin, you're looking confused. You were there.
Sorry, I was like, I could have sworn that we're way past 2 seasons of Bluesky, but this year,
This year, yes, 2025.
Like, we just finished season 4, but I apparently still can't count. Okay.
So season 3 and 4 were 2025.
Wow.
And then Amy, you've been busy away from The View Screen and All Good Things.
Yeah, so over on Union Federation, we also did 27 episodes. Some of them have been, they've all been amazing. Some of the highlights include the Orville character profiles. Please go check out that back catalog. We had so much fun. We, of course, did our Strange New World season 3 episode review. And then we just finished up our Q fan series, when they had the Q. Yeah. So we just finished that. So lots of fun stuff going over on Union Federation.
And how has 2025 been for What's the Tea, Bev, Christos?
Sparse due to my duties on All Good Things, and just I was going to talk about this later. It's been a very busy year for me. I have flown 60,000 miles this year.
Holy cow.
Between work and play, and with this last trip, I was like looking at that today. It's been one of the busiest years of my life, and I know we all say that year after year, but I've been places. I'm like, was counting how many states I've been to this year.
Wow.
We went to Europe for 11, 12 days. I've been on extended work trips to Hawaii for 2 weeks at a time, several times this year. So it's been my year of travel. And so, I guess it's What's the Tea, Bev has suffered as a result. But, I prioritize all good things. I think we all know that. So.
Aw. I would be remiss if I didn't mention my now infamous appearance on Trackmasters Quiz in 2025. The defeat that I suffered at the hands of Sean Ferrick. Davey had to go and get a professional in to actually topple me. So I will take that. If I'm going to lose to anyone, at least it's someone like Sean. But that was a lot of fun. I still hold the highest score. He may have beat me in that round, but I've still got the highest score.
Yes.
So I'm completely defeated.
I got to like step in there a week or two ago and co-host / scorekeep for the holiday episode, and it was a low scoring episode because they wrote such a hard quiz. I was like, "Are you serious?" I like 5 minutes before we started, I was like, "Davey, are you sure about this?" Like, we're going.
Was it one of MCs?
Yeah, I think she wrote it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's brutal. She's brutal.
Yeah.
Nearly at gym level.
Yeah.
And Amy, what have we been doing for our patrons over the course of the year on the network?
Well, Davey has, for each episode of his Trek Masters, does a Patreon quiz questions for each. You can see us, All Good Things. Our extended videos are also on Patreon. And we are going to continue our reaction shows for Starfleet Academy once that gets going this year. So I was wondering, I wonder what the catchphrase is going to be, because for our Discovery reaction shows, we called it Let's Fly. For our Strange New Worlds reaction shows, we called it Hit It. So I wonder what the catchphrase is going to be for this Academy.
Study.
Teach it.
Detention.
Detention.
Brilliant. Oh, that's amazing. Right. Well, we have now reached the end of 2025 and we're moving forward into 2026, which is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. So, Amy, what has Trek got in store for us in 2026?
Okay, listeners, they've got a whole web page, Star Trek /60 or something. And we are starting off strong on New Year's Eve. Star Trek's going to have their own float in the Rose Parade in Pasadena, California. They've got George Takei, Tig Notaro on the float going down in the famous Rose Parade. I'm very excited. They also have partnered with Do Something, which is a nonprofit that is dedicated to making the world greener, more environmentally friendly. Now, Paramount has launched with them, and for the premiere of Star Trek Academy that weekend, there's going to be something going on, and it's going to be nationwide, i.e. /worldwide, if they so choose. So I'm interested to see what they've got there and appreciate that they're like doing something green environment. Star Trek is also having the cruise, which is going February 20 to 27. So there will be huge celebrations for the 60th there. FedCon over in Europe, number 34. That's pretty impressive. May 22nd to 24th. That's my birthday, May 22. Someone should send me over to FedCon. And then Star Trek Las Vegas will be August 5th through the 9th. So lots to celebrate for our 60th. I'm sure they'll be doing something for Star Trek Day. So that just hasn't been announced.
Brilliant.
I'm glad to see they're doing stuff for the anniversary, not just kind of letting it fly by. So I'm glad there's stuff going on. There's, a new show premiering. We'll have another season of Strange New Worlds we'll talk about here. But there'll be stuff going on throughout the year. And I think there'll be hopefully some announcements with some other things as we go.
Yeah. So we are only 2 weeks away now from the premiere of Starfleet Academy. Kristin, are you excited?
I am so excited, and I'm gonna watch it. I promise. I just love the different take on this. I love we've never really seen something completely dedicated to Starfleet Academy. We've only seen in bits and pieces throughout the rest of the series and all of that. So I'm very excited to see how this goes. I hope people, sometimes I feel like the Star Trek fandom takes things far too seriously. And I think sometimes people just need to enjoy the content for what it was. I say that after I ripped apart Section 31, but in my defense, I approached Section 31 with that same thing, and it still didn't live up to expectations. So it takes a lot for me not to like Star Trek. I even like Threshold. So, you know, I like stuff that most people don't like in this. So I'm hoping, even if it's kind of corny and kind of goofy, I will still dig it. So, and I like new characters. I like Bob Picardo. Come on, I'm so stoked for that. So yeah, I'm it's already queued up and ready to go.
Brilliant. What about yourself, Amy? How are you feeling about Academy?
The trailer was exciting, but if you haven't seen Star Trek on Instagram, there's this one that's walking through the Academy. It's just like as if I were to do it. Oh, look, there's Jonathan Frakes. Hello. But to see, well, this is what it looks like in the daytime. This is what it looks like. Here's our dorm room. That got me more excited for Academy than anything else. And like seeing where they're learning, I guess this open area, which as a teacher, I'm wondering, how is that going to work? So I'm sort of curious as a teacher as well. Like, what is this new fandangled way that we're going to be teaching? So I am very curious. I'm very piqued. Yeah.
Do you think being a teacher is going to heighten your enjoyment of Strange New Worlds? Or do you think it's going to make you a little bit more critical because you will be like, you can't do that as a teacher. That wouldn't work. How do you think it's going to land? It's a little bit stepping on your toes a little, isn't it?
Yeah, I do have a very difficult time watching any teacher movies or series. I just can't do it because I'm like, no, this is wrong. So, but compare it to when people say, well, I like the technology jump, and like specifically with Discovery when they went, 1,000 years in the future, like now we have this movable
programmable matter,
like that's the technology jump in the future. So educationally, what's the jump? What does that look like? How are we teaching? How are we learning in the future? So if they can manipulate it that way, I'm very curious.
Let's hope they're not using PowerPoint slides.
It cannot be that. No.
How are you feeling about Academy, Christos?
I'm good too. I was thinking Amy was discovering that the Instagram tour, and I was like, I saw that too. It got me excited. I mean, that's allegedly the biggest standing set for anything in North America, apparently. It's the biggest set for Star Trek, even bigger than the Promenade for DS9. So,
wow.
Yeah, so it looks really good. Like, I don't know if it's a teaching set or if it's just going to be kind of like the campusy area where they're social, but it looks really good. Like they spent money on it. Yes. So I'm, and given the like the 3 or 4 minute clip we saw a week or two ago, that's really got me jazzed about it. And I think we're getting 2 episodes on the first day, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So January 15th. You know what I'll be doing.
I just want to quickly go back to, because I'm okay. Let me get my brain straight here. I want to go back to some of the conventions coming in 2026. Now, this isn't a convention, but as I have not been quiet in that I will unfortunately not be going to most of them because I am not going to the US right now for a while. So I'm looking for what to do outside. And my neighboring province of Alberta has this little town right close to the border. It's called Vulcan, Alberta. And yes, you would be correct if you think there's a bunch of Star Trek stuff. And they are actually doing they call it Volcon.
Oh, I love that.
And it is July 24th to 26th this year. And it will be all across the entire city of Vulcan, Alberta, celebrating Star Trek. So their whole Trek station opens May 1st of each year, closes just before fall starts. So the entire summer, the whole city turns into a Star Trek con. People just walk around in their Klingon outfits or whatever they want, and the whole town goes in on it. There's enterprises that are just there as mainstays in the city. So they're doing a little something as well. So that is probably what I will be doing, because it's Canadian.
Yeah. Support
And I
your
won't,
local cons.
yeah, I don't have to worry about being shipped off to a gulag if I try to cross the border. No offense. I love all my American friends, but what the crap? They look back on 5 years of my social media. I'm going straight to prison. Straight to prison.
Moving swiftly on, do we think we're going to get season 4 of Strange New Worlds this year? Am I just so used now that we had that long gap, which was because of the strike?
Yeah.
That's gone now. That's not the norm. So we're gonna get Strange New Worlds.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's been confirmed. They dropped that one little clip at the New York Comic Con from whatever episode that's going to be, and
with the Muppets.
No. There was that long clip with the Enterprise flying through. Yeah, and there's really good special effects, and Ortega's is doing some special flying, and then they go into like a rescue situation, and then they get like severely damaged again. That poor Enterprise, man.
Yeah.
By the time it gets to Kirk, man, it's gonna have been like had so many overhauls.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it'll be knackered by the time Kirk takes it.
So season 1 premiered in May. Season 2 was June, and season 3 was July. So I'm going to put my money on mid-August.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing a trend. It's gone May, June, July. So I'm going to put my money that it's going to be mid-August is when we will see season 4 premiere.
And is Academy 10 episodes? So with 2 in January 15th, that will take us through towards like the end of March, maybe. So
yeah,
we're going to have a little hiatus, aren't we? We're going to have a April, 20 May no track.
Yeah, we're getting 20 episodes this year, and we already know that we're going to get 2 in 1 week for.
I hate that.
So now you're down to 19 weeks. I got 2 schools of thought. Either it'll air like May, June, or it'll air to overlap the 60th anniversary, and so they have an episode on the week of the anniversary, so they can kind of draw attention to it somehow.
Yeah.
So the final episode of Academy airs March 12th.
Oh, that's earlier than I thought then. Wow.
So it's January 15th, we get 2, and then it looks like it's a week. Yeah, so then it looks like we get 1 every week. There's 10 days between that one. Okay. Yeah, but mid-March is when we'll be done with the Academy run.
Brilliant. So unless any new projects are announced, which they probably will be over the course of the year, but we definitely won't get them in the same year because they'll be announced as in going into production. It looks like that is our trek for 2026. 1 season of Academy, 1 season of Strange New Worlds, and some books and some merchandise. So yeah. Christos, what are you going to be spending your money on in 2026?
So actually, I've got inspired I need to do a purge in life. So I'm going to
Bank manager been involved.
What?
Has your bank manager been in touch?
Well, that too. But no, just more like my place is only so big. So I have to be mindful of that. So it's one of my little New Year's resolutions is first off, I need to clean up, donate, liquidate maybe some of these things. And then I need to be a little bit more picky choosy about what I get because it's not that I don't want it. It's just I only have so much room for it. So I have to be practical about it. So
that's almost a New Year's resolution.
Well, it is.
2026 New Year's resolution.
Yeah, it is.
I'm on board. Like, you see all this crap right over here. This is my post-Christmas purge. So, Christos, I'm all about whatever you're not using, send and see if someone will give it new life.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
So, yes.
listeners, if you want to see Kristin's crap, get yourself over to Patreon/BQN and you can look at it. But I think it's delightful, Kristin. It's not crap. Okay. Let's end our episode today with our traditional assimilations and regenerations. What are some of our highlights and lowlights of the year? That could be directly Trek related or Trek adjacent or personal. Amy, what was a highlight for you this year?
Well, it has to be the trip to Sitges, Spain with our Star Trek family. And then I had a Mediterranean cruise with my dear sister, Wendy. Huge highlight, lots of planning, lots of love, so much fun, so many good memories, and really just like reinvigorates me and how I choose to live life.
Yeah.
And one of those is my podcasting family, and looking at this past year of recording 68 episodes. I mean, of course I wasn't on every single one, but you know, probably closer to 60 episodes in the year, and bouncing on that line of, oh, I have to podcast versus, oh, I get to podcast. And every time I think about, oh, I'm going to not podcast, I'm going to, tell, I don't know which one, but, I'm going to step back a little. And I'm like, every time I get done podcasting, I'm happier, inner peace. Life is more positive. And so I'm like, why would I cut out something like that? So being more intentional in recognizing the good that I get from my Star Trek family has definitely been a good thing for me. Yeah. So I thank you guys, because you guys are a huge part of my Star Trek family. I love you.
Love you.
I'm just going to echo that, Amy. I don't think the three of you know how much this means to me every Sunday getting to record with you. It can be quite lonely, I find at the moment, because James works very different hours to me. So most of the time in the week, I've gone to bed before he even gets home from work. So we're like ships passing in the night. I don't see a lot of my friends in the UK as much as I used to. They've got kids. Their lives are very different to me now. So, I go to work and do a job that I'm not particularly enjoying. I don't have a huge amount of passion for my work at the moment. It's just something I do to get paid, to enable me to do nice things. So our community, more wider than BQN or just Star Trek fans, but the three of you, this is, you're my family. This is my Trek family. This is the call. This is the call to mum and dad that people put in every week. This is talking to my brothers and sisters. So thank you for the episodes of All Good Things, the episodes of the View Screen that we've done. It's actually been life-saving for me, because it's given me focus and somewhere to channel positivity and healthy energy over the course of 2025. And I'm delighted to do more in 2026.
Yes. Kelvin, to just echo that, I think I feel the same way. And like, Trek brought us together, but I don't know if the listeners realize that we get along and we like each other and love each other, even if Trek wasn't involved. Like, I like you all as people, period. I love talking to you and hearing about your lives and hearing about your families and what's going on in your side of the world and all of that. And, yes, Star Trek is the common thread that sort of pulled us all together. But I think that shows that the beauty of this fandom can be to bring people together. And then we create these families that exist even outside of the franchise. And I think that's really important to have.
Yeah.
You guys are all right. No,
You're going out for brag bunch in a moment. You come on, let's wrap this up. Christos is going to go out with his real mates.
Christos is taking a nap after all of this. I don't let listeners know that Christos stayed up most of the night flying home and just got home an hour before we recorded today. So, but
you're looking very well on it.
You are.
Thank you. Well, it's actually a good part about my good year is been my fitness journey. But I want to back up for a second and I don't think I'd be showing up for, how many episodes of All Good Things did we do this year? 27. I think I did the majority of them. I may have missed a few weeks, but here or there. But yeah, I wouldn't be showing up and spending my Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. That's what I have, that's what time I record, or most three of us do, actually, on a Sunday morning, unless I thoroughly enjoyed not only what we were talking about, but the people I'm talking about it with. Because, that's a whole big piece of things. Because if if we don't get along, it's not going to be a good podcast,
right?
And we're not going to enjoy. We're not going to want to show up. And Amy said it earlier. I don't want it to ever be work, and so that's one of the reasons why I don't force What's the T-Bev, because that's going to make it work. And if I make it work, then I'm just like, it's another thing I have to do. So anyways, so love you guys.
Love a sappy little moment between us all.
Calling all audiophiles and Trekkies. Prepare to boldly go where no podcast listener has gone before with the diverse soundscapes of BQN. We're not just a network, we're a universe of exploration, entertainment, and deep dives into the topics you love. Here's your star map to the sonic adventures awaiting you. Charting the Star Trek cosmos, we have all good things. Embark on a comprehensive journey through the entire Star Trek universe with insightful crew of Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristin. From classic to current, they cover it all. Galaxy Class, Engage. Stephen and Stefan pilots this deep space mission, meticulously covering all aspects of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Infinite Diversity. Stay current with the newest Star Trek frontiers alongside Chrissy and Thad. Union Federation. Whether your allegiances lies with Starfleet or the Planetary Union, Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley offer a unified front discussing both current Star Trek and the truly Trek at heart, the Orville. Crack open that book with Peter and the Trek Book Club podcast. Delve into the rich tapestry of Star Trek's beta canon. What's the T-Bab? Christos spills the latest Trek news and fandom insights with an essential LGBTQIA+ perspective, complete with engaging guest interviews. Our visual voyages that you can find on YouTube, as well as a podcast, are Treksperts quiz. Think you're a Starfleet Academy graduate? Test your knowledge with Davey and MC's challenging Star Trek quiz show. And the View Screen. Tune in live on Sundays for your dose of Trek-inspired talk show. Kelvin and Amy host new 8-week seasons each spring and fall. Beyond the final frontier, we have Bargain Bin Gamer. Davey and Mitch, your self-proclaimed gamer guides, lead you to digital treasures, unearthing and reviewing the most affordable video game gems. Cinema Z. Grab your metaphorical popcorn for Mark and Matt's cinematic deep dives, unearthing overlooked films that demand your attention. History with the Szilagyi. In order to never repeat it, tune in as Chrissy and Jason deliver bite-sized snippets of historical events from around the globe. And Transformational Journeys. Lex Rosa explores what it means to embrace authenticity in the face of societal expectations. To unlock deeper levels of engagement, try our patron perks. The Hive Mind is where you can join our random script readings, live reaction shows, and roundtable discussions. And check out our back catalog of It's Green, a verdant cornucopia of topics offering diverse and engaging conversations, and Amy's Math Moments. Discover the subtle and not so subtle mathematical wonders woven into the fabric of Star Trek. You can stay connected to our ever-expanding galaxy of content by following at BQN Podcasts on Instagram, Bluesky, YouTube, and Discord. We appreciate you choosing BQN to fill your auditory needs. Thank you for listening. Assimilate the audio.
Kristin, what are we doing next week? Well, we know what you're going to be doing before next week, but when we
Yes.
arrive to next Sunday, after you've done your homework, what are we doing?
We are doing part 7 of our genetic engineering, and we will be reviewing the audio drama of Star Trek Con. So those of you like myself who have not completed it, or those of you who want to refresh, be sure to stream Star Trek Con before you watch the next episode, so we are all caught up and talking about the same thing.
We would love to hear what you thought of today's show, and there are many ways you can do this. You can join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, or you can join our Discord server, or you can follow the network on Bluesky and Instagram at BQN Podcasts to continue the discussion there. You can find all of the links and the invite codes in the show notes. So, Kristin, where can people find you when you're not listening to 4 episodes of Star Trek Con over the course of the next 7 days?
You can find me on Instagram at KStrats, and of course on Reddit at Garrick's Fan Club, where I got a lot of love for my Christmas present from Justin, which was a signed copy of A Stitch in Time. He purchased it off of eBay, sent it to Andrew J. Robinson to have it signed, had it sent back, and then got me a cameo from him. So that was quite the present. I'm still like blown away. And Justin has had a few marriage proposals on Reddit now, where people were like, "Can you be my husband now?" So yeah, that's where you'll mainly find me. Again, for my mental health, I have been not doing a ton online. I don't find social media has been very good lately. So I'm going to try to get back to a lot of offline stuff, but I will always check into my 2 little places. And Amy, where can people find you when you are not getting ready for all of your jet setting to get to all the amazing cons that are happening this year?
Well, you can find me here on the network where I'm co-hosting Union Federation. I also, social media, not posting too much. So find me on the Discord server, having some fun discussions there. And yeah, that's about it. So Christos, where can people find you when you are somewhere in the air going to Hawaii, to North Carolina?
You can find me on Instagram at What's the T-Bev. You can find me at BQN Collective on Facebook, and you can find me in the Discord server. Honestly, the easiest place to get me if you want to say something to me is DM on the What's the T-Bev Instagram account. I check that pretty much daily. So yeah. And Kelvin, where can people find you when you're not comparing the size of your Lego displays?
Comparing it with what? When I'm not unboxing Lego, you can find me on most of the socials at Kelvin's Timeline, or you can find me in the BQN Collective Facebook group. And you can find me throughout 2026 doing 25 plus episodes of All Good Things with my beloveds.
You'll never hear a commercial here on BQN, and if you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can watch the video version of this podcast, Or you can join the reaction show, script readings, and enjoy our special patron-only shows of It's Green and Amy's Math Moments. Visit patreon.com/BQN to get all the details and watch your messages.
If becoming a patron isn't your thing, you can still support the show by sharing our posts on social media, talking about it with your friends, or hitting the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and leaving us a star rating and written review. That helps others to find the show and build our little community of awesome listeners.
At this time, we'd like to thank our very own associate producer, JJ Seastrom. A special thanks to Graham Kelly for our opening and closing music, and to Kelvin for our weekly artwork.
Thank you for listening.
We hope you'll join us.
As we search out
All good things.